We're on.
Yep.
Again,
there you go.
Here we are again. I know.
Had to get her straightened out. Looks awful dark. No, I guess
it lightened up. Okay. It just takes a second to do. I don't know
Yeah.
how it looks like for people that are watching it, but for us, it's like dark and then the light comes on.
See what's going on here.
But yeah, so we decided we were going to do another little live stream today. Probably won't be as long as yesterday because this one's just going to be a movie review and not a sidetrack. So hopefully we don't go off on too many tangents. But I wanted to review this one because this one just dropped on Shudder. Probably like, hey, Bees Nest Movies and hey, Thomas Carlyle. Because this one just dropped on Shudder like yesterday or the day before. And I noticed that there was hardly any reviews of it anywhere. So this must be very, very, very new. This is a 2020 movie called The Bone Box. Now, this is a movie that is apparently, from what I could discern, this is the directorial debut of a guy named Luke Genton, or I guess is how you pronounce it. I think he was a co-writer on a movie called Snowfalls before, but which I haven't seen. Hi, Beth. Hi, Mango Badger.
I can't see any.
There's probably
comments.
like a lag.
Yeah,
I would imagine. And
no
hello, Sandra. Still here to see the duct tape. So this just dropped. I'm going to call this it's kind of like a ghost story, but it's also kind of like a psychological horror. So the basic premise of this is that there's this guy named Tom, and as it goes on, you find out that his wife has died of cancer. I believe it was like a year before. And he has moved in with his aunt Florence, who incidentally is played by Maria Olsen, who played one of the really weird looking like casting agents in Starry Eyes, which is also a really good movie if you want to check that one out. I think 2016, 2017. No, maybe it's older than that, 2014. I don't know. But yeah, she was in that. So he moves in with his aunt Florence after her husband dies. So his uncle has died. And she's kind of going to move out, and she's quite wealthy. So Tom is going to help her like pack up the house and, everything like that. And hopefully, I guess, because he's kind of at a loss in his life and they're kind of bonding and he needs a place to stay and she has a lot of money. So she like gives him some help. Now, it also turns out that before Tom's wife died, and I guess her cancer treatment was really expensive. So he kind of got into gambling debt, like a really bad gambling debt, like because he was trying to make money to like pay for her cancer treatment. So what he has decided to do is that his Aunt Florence lives in, kind of creaky old mansion or whatever, like right next to, or honestly, it looks like it's on the same grounds as like this really big cemetery. So he's decided that he's going to look into grave robbing like you do, because he has this friend who's actually played by a woman that was in The Invitation. I think because the whole time I was like, man, that actress is so familiar wherever I've seen her. And then I looked her up. Her name's Michelle Krusiak, I think. But yeah, she was in The Invitation. So this is kind of a small town, I guess. They don't really show much of the town or anything like that. Pretty much the whole movie like takes place, other than an opening scene like in the graveyard, pretty much the whole movie takes place like inside this house. So it's like very claustrophobic, which I think kind of worked to its advantage. But she is, so this woman is like, she's got her own issues too, but her dad is like the undertaker, the town undertaker. So she knows like all the skinny about like who died and who got buried with what. And if there's any like valuable shit in like some people's coffins and stuff like that. So she passes on this information to Tom in the hopes that she'll kind of get a cut of it too. Now they don't come across as like horrible people or anything like that. They just come across as very desperate people who are resorting to desperate situations. So at the very beginning of the movie, you see Tom and he's like running through the graveyard and he's got like this box and it's got kind of all these valuables in it, like jewelry and, various trinkets and things like that he is planning to pawn to get some money to pay back his creditors. Cause I think he owes like $20,000 in gambling debt or something like that. But as time goes on, he starts seeing things around the house, which lead him to believe that the dead people whose things he took are like stalking him. One of whom is his uncle, because he also takes shit from his uncle's grave, which his aunt doesn't know. So there's all of this shit going on. Now it's funny because I think when we were doing the Illuminati show, I think this is when we were talking about this, but I think we were talking about a haunting, and even like a lot of horror movies and stuff like that, where it's always kind of like the woman that sees the ghosts and like the dude doesn't believe her. And I was like, man, is there a movie where the reverse is true? This is one. This is the one where the dude is the only one who sees the ghosts. No one else sees them. No one else hears anything. So there's kind of like an ambiguity whether he's really, whether the house is really haunted, whether these people are ghosts and have come to like get him, or whether like all of the trauma that he's gone through in his life and his guilt about stealing from the dead people and everything like that is just like causing him to see things. Now, I will say that, like I said, this is a very low budget movie. It's pretty much one location. The opening scene is just him running through the graveyard, like after he's stolen all the stuff. And after that, I'm pretty sure I remember the whole thing is shot either inside the house or just right outside the house, like on the steps. But like I said, I think that's good because that gives it kind of like a real claustrophobia too. Now, this does not have any CGI. It doesn't really have a lot of gore or anything, no jump scares that I can remember, anything like that. It's just like it reminded me a little bit like the vibe of it and stuff. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of like The Changeling or something like that, where it's like, there's not a lot of real overt shit, but the shit you see is like kind of unsettling. But the ghosts like don't look like, they're not CGI or nothing. They pretty much just look like real people. But they just kind of build up this whole thing where it's like, like a little bicycle bell or like, him seeing somebody or like a painting with like a figure that is like moving closer to the house and things like that. So it's just like all these little kind of things that build up. And like I said, it's more like a psychological thing because you're not really sure if he's the only one seeing these ghosts because they don't exist and because they're just like, a figment of his imagination, or if the house is actually haunted and it just seems to be that he's the only one that can see them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. From my point of view, and I'm sure everybody fucking watching the stream knows that I didn't like it. A lot of people can tell in the first 2 or 3 minutes if I don't say anything. But to me, this is another one that I'd put in the bin of it would have made a better play than a movie. I kind of like a lot of visuality in movies.
Yeah, this one is it is good. I was thinking that too, because a lot of it has to do with, because there's not a huge amount of characters. A lot of it has to do with the interactions of the characters, because there's like long scenes with like, conversations between the characters and them talking about things. And then it'll kind of be broken up with like him wandering around the house and like seeing somebody and, no one else can see them. You know what I mean? Like seeing kind of creepy imagery, seeing like a little boy, seeing a bride, seeing other things. And, but they're not ghostly in any way. So, how you approach the movie, like I said, it seems like this is getting real. Like some people either really, really dug it, saying it's kind of like a throwback, like an old school, just kind of a slow burn haunted house type movie with no jump scares, no anything like that, just kind of like creepy imagery and just like a creepy story. And then like other people saying like what you said, it's like, it's not like super action packed. It's not, it's very conversation based, very character based. It goes a lot into the psychology of the main character and like the interactions between the characters and stuff like that. So
to me, it was just more like theater than it was film. You know what I mean? Cinema has to be visual for me. That's my tastes.
Yeah.
And this just wasn't very visual.
Yeah, it wasn't in a lot of ways.
Very dialogue based.
It was very dialogue heavy. Like I said, not in the same way that say Confessional was, which we reviewed like last week or whatever. That very much seemed like a play. You know what I mean? This one, like I said, they moved around the house, like other things happened. There was like a fight with the guy that he owed money to and stuff like that. So like shit did happen. So it wasn't just people talking to the camera the whole time. So it wasn't that experimental, but I can see how if you're not really into just these real low key, dialogue heavy, like ghost story type things or psychological type horror movies, then probably you will be bored with it. I mean, I found it really interesting, but I can see that. Like, I'm not going to shit on people for feeling like that, because I can see how you would feel like that, but I found it really interesting.
Yeah, I'd get into it, and then all of a sudden I'd start just looking at my damn tablet and going, yeah, okay. And then just like I said, it was not a visual experience to me. And that's just, that's for me, that's what cinema is. Would this have made a decent play? Probably.
Yeah.
because, you know, when it's on stage, you know, there's not going to be any special effects to speak of. They can't show you much. So the actors have to fucking put on a performance to draw you in. And it's going to be psychological and dialogue heavy. That's all you have when you're on stage.
Yeah.
But that's wasted with cinema. That's why I didn't like it.
Yeah. Which, you know, like I said,
right.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I did really I liked the idea of this though. I mean, I really like the concept behind it. And I've seen it compared to the Changeling, and it's kind of similar in the sense, even though the Changeling had a lot more locations and things like that, you know, whereas this one was very confined to like one household. But this also reminded me a little bit. You remember, I don't remember if they did a haunting episode or maybe it was Paranormal Witness, the Dybbuk box. Yeah. You know what I mean? It kind of reminded me like a little bit of that. Yeah. But I mean, it is a thing. I mean, I think I'm, you know, I'm not an undertaker, obviously, but I think it is a thing where they have like, and I think that is what it's called. It's called the bone box that has like all the effects of the dead people like in it. And that's what he stole. Even it had like more than one person's, because that was kind of the whole thing, like, you know, that had to do with like all the manifestations that he was supposedly seeing. You know, it was like 3 or 4 different people whose stuff that he had taken like from their graves. So, but I really, really liked that idea of like these kind of like remnants coming after him, but you don't really know if they're really there because he's the only one that sees them. So like I said, I like too that they subverted the woman is the only one that sees shit trope. Yeah. And like made it opposite where he was the only one seeing them. And his friend, it wasn't his girlfriend, it was just like a female friend that he had, you know, that happened to be like the Undertaker's daughter. So she was the one that was giving him the files and the information and everything. And she's just like not buying it. She's like, no, man, that's just in your imagination. I don't see anything, you know, nothing's here. And she's not hearing anything. So I kind of like that they subverted that trope. And it's just funny that I brought it up the other day that I was like, that I couldn't think of a movie that had subverted that. And I was like, here one is. So I was very happy to see that. We also, you know, while we're kind of on the topic, since we're live, might as well. I think Shudder also added last night, because they usually add like 2 or 3 at a time. They also added the 1983 movie Mausoleum. Yeah. Which I don't think I ever saw. Not bad. I liked it better than this one. Very cheesy. Yeah, I liked it better than this one. It did have a lot more of a visual stimulus to it. You know what I mean? It wasn't a great movie, but really not. No. It had Marjo Gortner, who was in Star Crash. Yeah. Wasn't he like, okay, Marjo Gortner, wasn't he like I thought he was like an athlete and then he turned like evangelist. Wasn't he like a Christian evangelist or something? I don't know. I thought it was the same dude. Later? I thought it was the same dude from Greatest American Hero. William Catt. Yeah. They do look alike. And they had that horrible, like, they had that horrible curly blonde hair. That was a terrible series. Remember that shit? It really was. Yeah. I mean, all I remember is the theme song. I don't know if I ever really watched it. Fuck your fake Superman ripoff. It was. She was hilarious. I don't even remember what happened in that shit. Like he was just like a reluctant. I think it didn't last long. Did aliens like bring him a suit or something? I don't remember. I remember being a kid, seeing it, you know, as it was coming on, and being very disappointed with it. Yeah. You know, it wasn't Superman. Not by any. Not with that hair. No. They had a couple of them around that time. They were trying to bring to the TV screen. I think they even had a Spider-Man. I think they had a Captain America. That didn't last long. They didn't really get. It's really they didn't get superhero shit together until recently. You know what I mean? When they've actually made decent superhero movies, like because I feel like, the Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby. Okay, I love that one. That was like in the 70s. Although I'm gonna admit right here, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I don't know. In those days, it was cool. Not. It was just little morality tales, and fucking Lou Ferrigno would bust out of his shoes. Fuck shit up, and then he calmed down. He's dead. I always thought his shoe budget must have been like atrocious, man. Well, you didn't notice that it was just the same fucking stock footage over and over again during the transformation. There was only one transformation. They had to be like cheap. Yeah. Because all I could imagine was Bill Bixby's closet at home, and it just had like the exact same pair of shoes. Yeah. Like he had like 500. Like he bought them in bulk because it's like every time he hulked out. If I remember correctly, the transformation sequence was always at night in the rain, whether it was raining or at night. It didn't matter. It makes it more dramatic. Yeah. You know what I mean? Didn't matter. Be in the middle of the day. Actually, sometimes he would just go in as Bill Bixby and then come out as fucking the Hulk. If they didn't have the budget for that episode. They didn't really show much transformation.
Just show his eyes go white.
Yeah, just do like a fucking close up.
Yeah, and that was
well, that's what I would. Well, you have to be budget conscious. That was like TV, man. It's not like nowadays where they have prestige TV shows where they could spend like $1 or $2 million an episode.
It had good writing though, and it had that great fucking theme song at the end where he's fucking walking away, fucking all fucking broke dick. Wah 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 wah. That's the you suck music. Because Banner could never get his life together. He had to move on.
Yeah.
He had to walk from one town to the next. It's kind of like Kane. Kind of like Kane from Kung Fu.
Except a big green monster.
Just green one, yeah.
But yeah, so if you have Shudder, like I said, check out Mausoleum 2. It's not a great movie, and fucking Marjo Gortner was not the best part of it. But there was titties, and there was some gore, and it was kind of funny that the main woman that was in it, she must have been a Playboy bunny or something like that. I feel like because they showed her tits a lot. But she like turned into a demon or something. She invited a demon into her like in the mausoleum or something like that. And then she would like, speaking of Hulk, she would like her eyes would go green and she could do like telekinesis.
Yeah, people are agreeing with me about the Hulk being well written and everything. Got other guys talking about them erasing history. Yeah, they're going to erase history. They're going to try to erase history. They have to. They have to erase history. If not, then they wouldn't be able to fucking do what it is that they want to do. It won't work. It won't work though. Too many people know. Desperate attempt. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Desperate attempt. You can't fucking erase history.
Did somebody say that? Somebody say Mausoleum was Bill Paxton's debut movie. Was it? I don't think Paxton. That was. He was the guy that was in fucking,
sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's actor mostly.
Oh, is that the guy from fucking Aliens? Aliens. And
he directed some. He did Frailty. Remember we reviewed that?
Yeah.
I don't think he did this one though. I can't remember the name of the guy that did
Frailty. Was the one where they thought they were killing demons, right?
Yeah.
That was his best movie. He was fucking great in that movie.
Yeah, and he directed that as well.
That was a fucking
he should have directed more movies.
Yeah, and it was like a Christian fundamentalist movie, and it turned out that they really were seeing demons. That was creepy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, we reviewed it. Yeah, we reviewed it.
Yeah.
That's a good movie, you guys.
Yeah.
It's like if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
it's kind of an underrated one.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. Christian fucking movies have a terrible reputation for fucking quality. But that's the best one. I think that's because every now and then, if you make one that's not explicitly, that's still a good, right. it just really does seem like from all the stuff that turns up on, because I really like that podcast, God Awful Movies, and they have a subscription to PureFlix, which is like the Christian Netflix, like to get movies. Yeah. And it's like some of the movies on there, I can't even like fucking believe they exist. Made. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of like Ugandan fucking horror movies. You ever seen any of this?
At least those are fun, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're also dialogue heavy, though.
What was the one that we saw?
Where the guy was turned into a crow. It had people crying.
Was it Vultures of Horror?
Vultures of Horror.
Something like that. It's like, was that Ugandan? I can't remember. It was somewhere.
You can watch them free on Netflix. Or not Netflix, on YouTube. Free on YouTube. Ugandan fucking horror movies, Ugandan gangster movies. And they're like, and there's no set length. They're just as long as they have to be. Some of them are like,
I don't have a problem with
that. Some of them are like an hour and 20 minutes. Some of them are like 4 hours long.
And they're funny because they're clearly made. I mean, whoever
they're making it up as they're going along.
Well, and it's the same. They use the same program to make it as they made as the dudes that made Birdemic, because it's like you can tell it's like the same bird effect and the same explosion effect and all that kind of stuff. It's like we just putting it there. But so
actually, though, I got to back off of that, because that Paxton movie wasn't the best Christian movie. It was the best Christian horror movie, I think.
What about The Exorcist, though?
Was that? I guess that'd be a Christian movie.
I mean, you could consider it that, because that's kind of like who the heroes were.
The best Christian movie was also a damn Jewish movie, and that was Noah. So that's Old Testament.
Yeah.
I liked that one. Aronofsky, wasn't it?
Yeah, Darren Aronofsky.
That was a real good one.
I wish he'd make Book of Revelation.
Yeah, I talked about that.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned that before.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It'd just be like a fucking acid trip. Pages scrolling by, and
David Lynch should make that shit.
Yeah, be like something out of that Altered States movie with the fucking ram with the 7 eyes and all that. I mean,
that would be kick-ass. That was Ken Russell that directed that.
Yeah,
is Ken Russell still alive? I don't even know. Quick shout out for the love of my life, Karen Black. She's so rad. I was just thinking about that movie that she was in the other day, the Burnt Offerings. Because I think we were watching that thing on Tubi, that 50 50 greatest horror movies you've never seen or something, even though I had seen probably like 95% of them, but I didn't get offended.
Seeing what people are talking about.
Yeah. Do you want to wrap it up since we're already, because
it's a short stream. You guys got any questions? Got anything you want to talk about?
Ken Russell is dead. Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
We should do some more of his movies, because I wanted to do Gothic and maybe The Devils. But I don't know. We'll get around. And I even like Lair of the White Worm. I know that one's kind of
hadn't seen that one in a long time.
Controversial. That's based on a Bram Stoker novella.
Tell you what,
it's super weird.
That one Haitian movie, one about the voodoo, that was a lot better than Serpent in the Rainbow.
That's Wes Craven.
Yeah, it was a lot better than I remembered it.
Yeah, see, I told you.
Yeah,
we should do like more cult movies too, because somebody asked me to do The Believers, and that was another one that I've been wanting to do. I think Martin Sheen was in that. That came out in what, 87? I feel like it was 87, because I think I saw it in the theater. But I like all those kind of like weird cult movies. We were talking about cults yesterday too.
So any questions or anything?
Yeah, Mango Badger just said, I seem to recall that people attending church went up when The Exorcist came out. Yeah, I do feel like, but you know, that whole stretch of like Rosemary's Baby, like through The Exorcist and all the satanic movies of the 70s, I think that was kind of when, because I feel like people had started getting like less religious, but then when that happened, it was kind of like, oh, thank you, Mango Badger, very much. Thanks. For the drinks fund. Yeah, that is usually what we use all the shit for.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that Bill Paxton movie, go check that out. You can probably see that for free, probably, couldn't you?
It might be on Tubi. It was like I remember seeing it on there like a few weeks ago, but I don't know if it's still there. Frailty, yeah. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Have you guys seen Sorcerer, the William Friedkin one? I don't think I've seen that, but it's on my list of like shit to watch. Now that I'm like thinking about movies by big directors that don't get love that they deserve, if anybody has not seen it, you should see Sisters by Brian De Palma.
I don't remember that.
I really, really like that. Margot Kidder was in it. She plays twins.
Yeah, before she got bombed out when she was still young.
Yeah. This was like real. It's from like the early 70s. Yeah. It might be even before Carrie came out.
Margot Kidder was cute when she was young,
yeah.
But then she just drank herself to pieces.
She was my favorite character in Black Christmas.
Yeah.
Because she was like a foul-mouthed
kind of a spunky chick.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
The whole scene in the fucking police thing with fellatio and all that other kind of stuff. All right. So we're going to wrap up this little matinee review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll probably do another live stream, maybe Saturday. It might be a movie review, might be a sidetracks. We'll see. Whatever we end up watching. So we'll see you guys next time. See ya.
Okay.